Now, tonight, I would like to come, just an introduction for our theme about the archetypes, and tomorrow we go really into the deep things, but I would like to give you some examples about extra lesson in relation to the Waldorf education, and there are some things that are on my chest, I think that's the expression, which I would like to share with you. Yeah. What we need to do as extra lesson teachers and as Waldorf teachers, that we always need to go back to the source. So for us as extra lesson teachers, there are two sources. Of course, everything that Steiner brought us, Rudolf Steiner brought us, and there's something extra what Audrey McAllen brought us. That's something extra. And I think that René Corrido, he was the founder of this, not the founder, but he was the first director of something. René Corrido, maybe you know his name. He brought, well, he invited Audrey also to come here because René was in England and he knew Audrey. He was, yeah, they were colleagues. And he said, and he expressed it this way, Rudolf Steiner gave us anthroposophy and Waldorf education, and he also gave this insight into the soul development of the child. But Audrey McAllen, that's René Corrido, Audrey McAllen gave us insights in how the body really is as a fundament under the learning process. That's the gift of Audrey. And that's René Corrido's words, or more or less these words. And I think that's important, that we know these two things, because what we have as extra lesson, as the concept of extra lesson, is, to my opinion, not just for the remedial work. I think it's the fundament of learning. So I think we are here as extra lesson teachers, but my opinion is that the whole Waldorf movement needs this insight to know what the body, how the body is, how the body works, and supports the learning process. So we have a lot of work to do, but anyway, that's my opinion. So what Audrey gave us is really something for the whole Waldorf movement, not just for our small group of extra lesson teachers. So that's one thing, this concept of extra lesson. So extra lesson is not this book with exercises. Extra lesson is a concept. And from this concept we can, when we penetrate that and we make it that when we make that our own, step by step, struggling, finding out, not knowing where to go, and so forth, and every child has a new question, always go back to the source and you will find your way out. Then you get inspired and then solutions come. Not right away, maybe, but they will come anyway. Go back to the source. And when we meet with one another, then we have this sharing. Because there's another thing, and that's my experience, and it might be your experience as well. When you do the exercises, and you read them, and you practice them yourself, the only reference you have is your own movement. And you move since you were born in a certain way, and they think that is the correct way. So when you do the exercises, and you do them like you think you should do them, but you always need your colleague to really look from the outside. You see, the only point of reference is what you know yourself. So that's how it's important why it's important that we meet one another and see each other move and do the exercises. So that's important that we meet also. Now, Rudolf Steiner gave the anthroposophy, and you also can use the word spiritual science. So it has this scientific aspect. And what is science? He wanted to give a spiritual science which has the same which was speaking of the spirit and the soul elements in the same way as nature science, call it nature science, is talking about what you can see in nature. So that is objective and clear. And also that people can, when you do an experiment, you can repeat it. So nothing very up high, but clear in thinking, clear in concepts. And I think it started at the end of the 60s, the last century, and it came into the 70s, that the anthroposophy was taken up by people, and maybe my generation as well, that you got, oh, anthroposophy, that's for our self-development. Or that we can become creative. All Waldorf teachers should be creative and be artists. We teach the arts. We don't teach the arts. That's not what we do. We do it for the children, but that's not the goal of our education. The goal of our education is to help the children and give them what they need in certain stages of their development, and give them in a certain way. Give things in a certain way. But it's not that they are going to become musicians. It's not that they become artists. It's not that become whatever it is, but that they become real human beings. That's the goal of Waldorf education. Waldorf education. So, when I would like to share some things with you, when you think, for instance, of biodynamic food, that's also another branch of anthroposophy. So now you can meet these people that think biodynamic food, it's for my health, or for my that it tastes better. And these are all reasons why you should use this organic food, biodynamic food. But it's not the reason why Steiner gave biodynamic food, that we are all getting healthy, or that we are all having nice and tasty food. That was not the reason why he gave biodynamics. He gave it because for the earth itself, the body of the earth needed to be cured or not to be poisoned. So it was for the earth. So it was an objective reason, not for ourselves. You know, there's always this element of egoism coming in, and that's not science, that's egoism. So I see anthroposophy, and I think extra lesson as well, and that's why we come to this archetype, that we have to bring it on to this element of what is objective. I give you another example. The painting, for instance. Painting. We can enjoy art. You can like modern art. You can like the Raphael, for instance. But when you think of this, Joan will present them, these series of this Madonna series of these Raphael paintings, you can either like or dislike them, but it's not necessary that you like these paintings. But it's the series, put it in a certain order, and when you look at them in that way, then from that there comes an objective healing effect. And you don't need to like Raphael. Maybe you like modern art better. You see all these Renaissance Madonnas. You see, so this like or dislike is not the element in it. Another thing is the festivals, for instance. We have all the festivals and we celebrate them. St. John's Festival, Christmas, and we can go in there with our soul and enjoy the things and make it very beautiful with the children. We can have a festival every day if we want to. Every day as a saint, so we can have lots of festivals. And then, for the children that's important, but when Steiner gave, for instance, this soul calendar, and what is important with the festivals is that we are connecting with the movement of the spheres of the earth. So in the different seasons, the sheets of the earth move with the sun and with the season and with the weather, and the plants grow or they disappear again, and that's an objective thing in the outer world. And our soul is connected with that and can move with that as well. And if you don't do it, you can be not aware of it, and it still happens. But the soul calendar describes in 25 verses in every week, for every week one verse, the objective movement of the outer world, of the soul, of the world spirit, you could say.